colleagues. We are bringing to you a pop-up puzzle of practice. This is a peer-to-peer coaching event brought to you by the statewide Residency Technical Assistance Center. We are a support network that spans California from the northern region to the southern region. You see here the regional hub leads who are available to you for any questions or support for your residency programs. We are a California collective effort, and we have many partners, the 5 county offices who lead regional hubs, along with our primary partner, the Residency Lab, and support and partnership for data collection and research from UCLA and West Ed. Today's session is strengthening teacher residency pipelines and effective recruitment strategies. And we are very grateful to Lena Anthony to bring you this information. And it's all yours, Lena. Thank you.
My name is Lena Anthony, and I am a lab coach with the Residency Lab. So our objectives for today are going to be identifying key stakeholders in your recruitment. You can't do it alone. Exploring some different outreach and engagement strategies, and then share some best practices for sustainable recruitment. Like once you have your protocol in place, it helps you stay sustained and also helps sustain your residency program, because without residents, there is no program. So I just really want to talk about the power of a strong recruitment pipeline. And I think the first thing that we have to do is establish what is the purpose of having your residency program. So really thinking about your school partnerships and your residency program, and really identifying kind of what is the challenge. So is the challenge diversity? Is it turnover? Is it that, there's not enough teacher in the workforce in the area? Is it just developing a pipeline for your school partner? So really establish like what is that purpose, and then have headlines. So you, like in your advertisement, you want to have headlines, you want to have data, you want to show why your residency program is actually going to work and why people want to invest in being in your partners in the recruitment. So these are just some examples. I know a big one has been about the shortage of educators. Another one was credentials, like people are working, but they're not fully credentialed. And like, what is that challenge? And so just wanting to show some data on why your residency. So we're going to talk about like, who are the stakeholders that are going to be your highest leverage? And I'm also going to give you guys like a few timelines that you really want to think about as you're outreaching. Sometimes we get nervous and desperate and we wait until the end to then start to ask people to partner with us. So I'm going to kind of share a timeline and I'll summarize that at the end. So your first partner has to be the leadership at your school partnership. So principals, assistant principals, deans, whoever is in that leadership role. And the reason being, for me, just being in the Bay Area, I had to do a lot of internal candidates. Like I said before, it's so saturated. So going to colleges and going to college fairs, I wasn't really able to recruit outside. So I had to really work on my internal pipeline to get people who needed their credentials in my program. Definitely wanting to make sure that your principals are enrolled. So one thing I asked was to attend all leadership meetings. So principal meetings, assistant principal meetings, dean meetings, whoever was in charge, I wanted to be at their meetings because I wanted them to hear from me what my program was about, not word of mouth. I wanted them to know the details. And remember, I'm going to share data on why they want to invest in this program. And so I would bring recruitment materials, so flyers, postcards, swag. I would share data. I'm going to share a presentation with you on like what I would do. And just really getting them invested, and everything was at their fingertips. So I didn't ask them to do anything. I had everything ready and prepared. And then I asked them, who are the people that you know are wanting to teach? And I had a sign-up sheet right there in our meeting tell me their name, give me their email. I will do the outreach, not having them for the information for me, because that's just too much. Whoever gave me the most names, I would raffle off swag and start passing it out and just really getting them to be partners. After that, I would follow up with email. So I never started my initial contact in email, but now my follow-up, they know me, especially if they were new, they know what my program is about. And so now every once in a while in their newsletters, I would put information about recruitment. I would give them the blurbs that I wanted them to share in their newsletter so they didn't have to make anything up. I had the flyers linked. I had the informational sessions ready to go. So all the resources were ready, and all they had to do was copy, paste, and forward it to me. And so that was really a lot of buy-in, because now it was like, oh, I need residents because I need to build my pipeline. I have high turnover, I have a shortage. And so they were a lot more invested. The other piece is it builds morale. If the principal or any leadership folks are going to their staff, it's showing that they have an investment in them and that they really see their potential and they really want them at the school. And so again, it shows value. So the two artifacts I shared was, there's a presentation which we're going to provide a template for you. And basically, this was just my outline of what you should have in your presentation, your mission and vision. What are you about? How does your residency program stand out from the other programs? And then just giving a program overview, like what does the principal need to know? Like how would it impact their school site by having a resident on site? So just giving that overview, really talking about the year. Again, you want to talk about data, like the graduate data, the effectiveness, like how other principals found residents to be effective in comparison to other educators, and then the retention, because the bottom line is we want to just keep our teachers. Talking about the recruitment process, and this is where like these are your roles, and then this is where I would have my template linked where principals can just tell me who to contact. But they were very clear. We also did a raffle. So in addition to raffling off swag, my recruiter and I had like Amazon gift cards. And so we would like raffle folks out and just kind of boost that morale. And then we talked about the application process. Reason being, I would explain like, I'm going to send you blurbs. I'm going to send you like resources and different materials in order for like people to meet these deadlines. So they had to know when these deadlines were. And if they felt comfortable, I would also put it on their calendar. So then if there were some people they really wanted to push into the program, they knew like the dates. What the school requirements were. I would hate for a principal to do all of this outreach and then they're not eligible because of their school site. And so people want to know these things ahead of time. So be very clear, talk with your IAG, making sure that all the requirements are set up and known in advance. Everybody wants to know about financial information. And so just kind of sharing what are the resources that you have to support residents, and even the mentors that will be supporting your residents, like what do those stipends look like and what is that financial incentive? And then you want to work very closely with your university partner and really identifying what are those admission requirements, because we don't want to just talk about our residency program. We also want to make sure that they get into the university. Here is probably your most important stakeholder. And this is your business managers and your office assistants. Reason being, they're the face of the school and they are in contact with everyone. A lot of your business managers or office managers, they're supervising hourly teammates who really might want to go down the teaching pathway. They are also highly in contact with substitute teachers. And so really what I did was I made folders for them for their substitutes that had the recruitment flyers, contact information, webinar info sessions. Everything was in this folder with a little like, and it clipped outside, because when business managers meet the substitute teachers, they always give them a packet for the day. And so I just had my materials all ready to go in that packet. And I got quite a few applicants just from doing something as simple as that. And it could be like, they just need the credential piece. They don't like, they understand what teaching is. And so those are the people that are actually pretty successful in the residency program, because they already know what to expect and they've had some experience with students. I usually start to enroll business managers and office assistants around January, February. I don't want to do it too soon, because I want it where like people are already ready to apply. And when I'm doing their presentation, it's less about building up the pipeline, and it's more business managers want to know about like, okay, how is this going to benefit them from going to hourly into your program? So I talk a lot about the financial resources that will support the teammates. And I, again, like I said, I just bring the recruitment folders ready to go. Like, they don't have to stuff the folder. They don't have to do anything. I also ask if I can come to the school and put things in the office. Can I have flyers in the staff room? And so they're just pretty much like your touch point on the advertisement. And really, they're also ones to really recruit families. So if they know a family is interested in teaching, they've helped me too in that way of getting some recruitment on family applicants. Here's your another one that's pretty much your bread and butter. This is your like real touch point, is with after school directors and educators. So not just visiting the school while they're working, but I ask to come to their meetings. And they're just like my target market. Most after school educators, they have that schedule because they're probably going to school during the day. And so just like really being invested in them about getting their bachelor's degree. Again, I try to meet with them around February, March, because they know like what their graduation status is going to be. They're very clear about what their next steps are going to be. And this is also where I offer for my current residents or alumni to talk with them one-on-one to give them the real. They don't want to hear from me who's like leading the program, but they want to hear more from people who have experienced the program, and then just showing like value and investment in them, and just having like a lot of swag, giving them swag, and following up and asking them like, okay, where are you in your program? Okay, maybe not this year, maybe next year. So don't like force everything for this year. It's also a long-term game, especially if you're in an area where it's overly saturated. And then we're moving more into the external outreach. And so this is where if you still have parent coordinators, or like any community representative at your school site, I change it. This outreach, it's a little different. I don't do a presentation like in a meeting. I do more of a meet and greet and kind of have like a table set up, and making sure that folks can come talk to me with my flyers and my postcards. And just really like talking with people, seeing what they're interested in, and then kind of share about the residency program and see if they're interested. Usually that's when I'll follow up with a one-on-one meeting, like meeting on Zoom, or I can come to, to the school after school and we just have a conversation. This is where I can also identify like who are the community organizations that I can go to, like where are people going? This is where too, like getting families to spread the word. And so your local universities, libraries, local businesses, and just putting the flyers and posters all around has been like super helpful too. So like I shared, I had to do some creative recruitment. So most of my folks came from internal, and I was having a really hard time just from the typical like EdJoin, LinkedIn, again, because everybody's advertising on that. And so I partnered with a company called FemTwist, and they really helped me like get the word out. So they supported me, and I partner with my talent team. So my talent team was already doing this creative recruitment to get teachers to apply. And so what we did was we connected together because the expense can be very high, and we partnered to like do a little duo. And so we had Google ads come up, we had social media pop-ups. Again, that's the market that you're trying to tap into. And so really making it like fun and exciting for, you know, for people to like tap in. Like I said, we did a lot of different raffles. It would also do internal raffles. So like my current residents, it would be like, if you recommend someone, I would give you $100 gift certificate to build your classroom as you start for next year. And so just really thinking outside of the box, like what's going to get people invested. The other thing is I connected with our college and career program manager, and she gave me an alumni contact list. And so it was a mass email. Some people thought I was crazy. But if you're sending out to hundreds of alumni, you know, like even if you just get 5 to 10 people that respond, it was highly effective as well. So I kind of did a like a scope of the year. It's really kind of like quarterly and like some different actions that you can do. And just like Connie mentioned, like really thinking about who are your partners. And I think the main thing is like in September, right before that application window opens, it feels really early and you're just coming off of like starting up a new residency cohort, but you have to establish that recruitment team and really develop, like put on your calendars right away, like what is our meeting cadence going to be and like what is our plan. October to December is where you're launching, getting your flyers, posters, emails together, newsletters, posting on your recruitment sites, Join LinkedIn, and like determining what those information sessions are going to look like. And then also scheduling like some different meet and greets. And so as you can see on the side, like who those partners could be. January to April was my big push. And that's where I like launched, like everything was going out, meeting with various stakeholders, giving them prepared materials, launching that community outreach, doing the creative recruitment outreach, because you have to like use your money wisely. And then I held office hours where people could come and meet with me and just ask me questions. And so like January to April, it was just like, it was my focus, and I had to really schedule that in my calendar and not make it an afterthought. And when I did like this cadence, it was where I like really was able to boost up my recruitment. Then don't get too confident. Don't just be like, okay, I have my people, everyone's in, because people will switch at the last minute. And so my other big tip is April to June. How are you keeping your candidates warm? So celebrating them, start adding them to your newsletter, have your principals or school site leaders, mentors, whoever's doing it, like reach out to them, do touch points, invite them to different celebrations, school site visits. So just like you want to make sure that you're keeping your folks warm and not just assuming because they signed up that they don't have another place to go. And so that's pretty much it. And hopefully you just saw where really focusing on your internal, where you have a lot more control. And then like, what are those creative pieces and your external pieces that you can do? And the bottom line at the end, don't like forget about it, like keep them warm and just making sure that you're giving those touch points.
And we're going to say thank you again for all of your insight and experience with regards to recruiting for our residency programs.